Just a rotten day here. Next 2 days are going to be bad. And it's worse than Ontario right here in, and I'll show you why. All that white stuff, it's going to disappear, which is not cool. That means a lot of mud. Today it's easy just to say, hey, I'd said to Jason, it's going to be freezing rain and rain. You guys just jog the racehorses, and when it starts to rain a little heavier, that'll be it for the babies. Same as tomorrow. There's no need, we put plenty of work into these horses. They've trained very, very good this week. Yes, we want to keep them on a schedule, but jogging them in the freezing rain or an icy track it's not necessary, I don't think. And I don't advocate in any way for giving them days off when they don't need it, but when it comes to a day like today and the weather we're having right now, especially after the weather we just broke from, tread lightly. It's not the end of the world. So, obviously on my way to the barn. Typical errands for this time of year. I still haven't, a lot of people have asked me for the staking packages. I still haven't got them from Joanne Staking yet, which is a little late this year. But I will endeavor to reach out to Jim and get those done today or tomorrow. Hopefully get those into my possession and get looking through them. But for the most part, I think, every single year we get a little bit better with staking the horses, looking at where we raced last year, what we did, obviously what we'd like to do, but within reason. And staking is always a tricky thing. I've advocated and will continue to advocate to have the staking done at the sales. I just think there's a huge opportunity being missed by the industry as a whole, but nevertheless, I'm just Anthony. So we'll look to get that done over the next couple of weeks and get the, as I say, the more stressful part of my year underway and hopefully out of the way soon enough. So on our way to the barn, I want to talk about what took place last night, yesterday in general. I was pretty happy. Pretty hard not to be happy with the win, 3 seconds. One horse coming back off the shelf, two coming back off the shelf, one from an extended period of time and one from a shorter period of time that did what they could. Now, I'll start with, obviously, Good As Him. Got roughed up in the start. James said he just couldn't get him back. He was really ornery and headstrong, and he had to continue on to the front. And then he said between the weather, the track, and everything, maybe it just wasn't for him. So it doesn't go without saying that. It goes without saying that we're going to investigate. Scoping was mostly negative, no big deal there. Going to draw blood on him and have the vet go over him today also, just to see what is going on with Good As Him. I guess I'll start with the other one. The only other one that didn't race great was Kings County. That wasn't his fault. I mean, the expectations had to be extremely tempered. I mean, here's a horse that we trained down on a half. I trained him in, I think, 57, qualified him in 2 minutes. Then Tim trained him up to get ready for the Meadows. He was off 2 weeks. Didn't get in. Open didn't go. So shipped him back down to Miami Valley, down around Southern Ohio with Stacy. And she raced him last night. Lo and behold, he draws the 9-hole. So that's not good. Brett got away 9th. Looked like he was getting up into the flow in the last turn and almost lost him. So I'm glad he didn't. I was glad to see the horse stay at it and do his work well. Really happy with, I mean, you can't say, oh, I was so happy. I was happy that he did his job good and we got him back underway. So those two out of the way, the next four were all raced fantastic. Earlier in the card, the first race of the day, we saw Spitfire Overseas race, and man, he raced tremendous. Really, really happy with the way Spitfire Overseas raced. Stacy had said after, I thought maybe he'd run that horse down. I said, well, Stacy's cold as a bugger out. He comes first over in the, in with age sources, comes first over and gets beat fair and square. I thought the horse raced great. And looks like he's fitting in well in Miami Valley, which is always a problem, right? I never want to send a horse anywhere hoping they'll fit in, and then you get there and they just get pummeled, right? Or he's just not a good class. You always draw the outside, always making breaks, just one thing after another. We've had those, and we'll have those as we move horses around. But in this regard, it worked very, very well for Spitfire, for us, for everybody, and for Stacy. So I'm happy that it's going well. Now, Later on in the card, we had Renegade Gypsy raced well again. I was really happy with Renegade Gypsy. I know I had some people message me all the time and say, oh, you shouldn't have sold that horse. I didn't sell the horse. I worked my ass off to make sure that everybody that wanted out got out, and everybody that wanted to stay in stayed in. That's my job, and that's what we did. So we had the best of both worlds with Renegade Gypsy. I had a few shares in him. I certainly didn't mind selling him for what we got for him. And for the people that are the outside looking in, you don't know. So I was really, really happy with the way he raced and continues to race for Karen and everybody that stayed involved with the horse. It's just one of those things, right? It was a decision I had made at the time, and people are going to look back like any other decision in coaching or being a general manager of anything, sports team or business or anything, and say, you made a mistake here, you made a mistake here. I'm only human. I'm going to make mistakes. But in this regard, I'm not concerned at all with the direction we took with him. Very happy he raced good on a number of levels. Happy he's fitting in also in Southern Ohio. Now we moved over to Ontario. As I said, first race tonight was disappointing with Good As Him. A little bit. I mean, my expectations were tempered. Not a James-like race, so obviously you could tell the horse was hot and a little ornery. James would never drive a horse like that first time off the shelf. So we'll see what comes up with him, where we go from here with him. And then later in the card, I said, I hate racing Locatelli and White Tiger together, but if we have to, I hope they're 1-2, and they were. And I think obviously, there's always people that look at the way that we operate, right? And there's going to be naysayers, and there's some people that saying, hey, Chris shouldn't have been driving Collector. And we took Chris off this week, and it's not that he'll never drive the horse again, but I think it was warranted. And when it comes to Chris as a driver, I think I've been very clear. Chris is a tremendous driver. Won the Little Brown Jug. He's in the Hall of Fame. Made 4 times as much money as I did driving. I think over 3 times. And has to have 7,000 wins or so. Just a great driver that certainly didn't forget how to drive, but a super protective and conservative guy, and still wins races. Put Locatelli in a perfect spot, won the race, and looked good, and run down White Tiger doing it. So I think Locatelli moves up to the Open, and White Tiger stays there. So finally, we'll be able to separate these two for a little while anyway, at least a week maybe. So really happy with the way the races went yesterday. I mean, if you were to say you'd have a win 3 seconds, we knew that Kings County and Good As Him were going to be go-rounds, right? And if you had said, you're going to have that win in 3 seconds, I think everybody would be happy. I know I certainly am. So a good day at the office, a good day at the track. A bad day at the track today. There's Jason going out to jog one. The rain has subsided, so we continue on, I guess. Really happy with the way things are going right now in January. It's not often we can say that. January is always the thinnest time of the year. We've sold some horses. We've turned some out. We brought some new ones in. How are they doing? Every year is different. But this year just seems good. Things seem good as we move forward here in the stable in January. So I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. Hope you had a good Monday. We don't have anything on tap for Tuesday. Wednesday, we're a little busier. Got a couple racing in the mud here in Ohio. We get some horses to qualify, maybe some to train if the weather holds up. Doesn't look like it will. And a decent week ahead for us in general. So good luck to everybody racing Wednesday, Thursday, and throughout the week into the weekend. I will talk to you all very soon. Take care.